Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Okay. Welcome back to Profound Nikaya study, and the purpose is to apply in our daily life after understanding about the teaching. And then the Nikaya teachings directly taught by the Buddha and his disciple during the time of the Buddha. And in Theravada tradition, we believe that these teachings come through the first Buddhist council. So this belief, this original teaching of the Buddha, and Buddha and his disciple. So here in this sutta, Digha Nikaya, number 6 sutta, the Digha Nikaya number 6 sutta, which is called Mahali Sutta. The Digha Mahali Sutta. Then talking about the heavenly sight and sound. So here in this sutta is two aspects. There's one part we already finished, that is heavenly sight and heavenly sound. Talking about heavenly sight and heavenly sound. So that was the story is Ottada literally approached with the other Brahmin, approached to the Buddha and asked some question about the Sunakata, so his friend Sunakata. So Sunakata, just repeat it a little bit, ordained and followed to the Buddha for 3 years. And during the 3 years practice, he attained the power of divine eyes, which can see the sight or any visible form near or far. So he could see the heavenly sight, but he could not attain the divine ear powers so that he could hear the sound. Then after he did so, and he talked to his friends, the Ottada or the Mahali Bhikkhu, Mahali princes, and talking about his story, the Buddha, he asked whether the heavenly sound is really have or not, because the Sunakata could not hear, but he could see. Then Buddha explained, due to the lack of his qualities, he just see the sight. He could not see the sound or heavenly sound, although the sight and sound can be appear to others, those who have the both qualities of divine eye and divine ears. So after the Buddha explained this power, so this power, the concentration powers to see and to hear the heavenly sight and heavenly sounds. Then the Mahali, he asked the question, these qualities or these achievement of concentration states are the purpose of practicing under the Buddha's guidance for monks. But the Buddha said these are not the purpose. There are a higher and more perfect reason of achievement to practice in the holy life under the Buddha. Then he asked the question, what are these? And so this will be explained in this lesson and in this second part of the Mahali Sutta. And in the title, another one, the soul and body. So this part will be explained by the Buddha after the explanation of the higher and the perfect and more perfect achievement than the concentration attainment. So to answer the Mahali's question, what are the achievement or the reason to practice and live in the holy life, or the bhikkhu life, monk's life, under the Buddha's instruction? So before we continue, the Buddha's answer, and let me share some information about the basic Buddhism of Theravada tradition here. So in Theravada tradition, we recognize these 12 individuals altogether. So among them, the 8 noble persons, and therefore the basic one, the Puthujjana, ordinary persons are 4 types. Here I will not explain about these 4 types of ordinary person. And I will focus on the 8 noble persons. So enlightened individuals, because these 8 noble persons are connected to this sutta, and also it's good to know, and even to remember, it's good, to have the gradual achievement, information about the gradual achievement in Buddhist practice. So originally, the beings are Puthujjana, ordinary person, until they achieve any attainment of path and fruition in the meditation practice, in the practice. And so they are recognized as the ordinary person. Being an ordinary person, he need to develop, or he need to practice the meditation or mental practice, as concentration and insight. So concentration meditation is regarded as the basis to support the insight knowledge, or the attainment of insight knowledge. We need to practice the concentration, because in many suttas, the Buddha mentioned the cause that give rise the insight knowledge is concentration. So the meditator practice concentration in silent level, and standing on that support of concentration, and he further practice the insight knowledge. Here in this lesson series also, the starting from Samanyapala Sutta, second sutta, is mentioned that the concentration practice first, and after that the insight knowledge, insight practice. So when the meditator successfully practice the insight knowledge, vipassana jnana, vipassana meditation, and he attained the supramundane path. Supramundane path. The first attainment is called the Sotapatimagga, the path of stream entry, realizing the Nibbana in first stage. After that, that person is called the fruition individual of stream entry. this moment, the path entries, stream entry is only one mind movement, very short. Afterward, is continued to be a Sotapadipallatthana, number 2, the fruition individual. So all the mega moments, the path moments are very short, only one mind moment. So normally we just we can point out only the fruition individual in our daily life usage because the mega moment is very short. So the fruition, 4 fruition individuals are well known to address in daily life language. So Sotapanna refers to the Sotapadipallatthana. And Sakadagami, second stage attainment, is regarded as the Sakadagami individual, the fruition of one's entera, one's returner. So it is said after the attainment of Sotapadipallatthana, fruition, the fruition of state entry, he has only 7 lives at most. After that, he will attain the Nibbana, so attain the Arhatship and then into the final liberation of pre-Nibbana. And for second one, after the attainment of second path and fruition, so he can return to human life only one time. But it is not necessary to come even one time, but he can return only one time at most. He will not return twice to the human life. That's why he is regarded as the Sakadagami. After that, he may be reborn in the Brahma realm or Deva realm and Brahma realm. Then he will attain the Arhatship and Pre-Nibbana. After that, if he continue practice Vipassana and he attained that thought path and fruition, after that he is regarded as Anagami, which is called non-returner. So never return to the sensual plane of existence. So human or Deva realms never return and reborn in the Brahma realm and attain the Arhatship and Pre-Nibbana. If he continue practicing Vipassana jnana, he attained the Arhatship, the path and fruition of Arhat. Then he is regarded as the Arhanta, Arhata. So he is the final achievement. That's why after the attainment of path and fruition of Arhat, and in that very life, and doesn't matter human life or Deva or Brahma realms, he will attain the Pre-Nibbana, final liberation. No more rebirth for him. So in this case, we should know the spiritual achievement in the practice of insight knowledge, Vipassana meditation. So the first attainment, Sotapanna, second attainment, Sakadagami, the third attainment, Anagami, and the fourth attainment and final attainment is Arhatship. Okay, so these are enlightenment level. So normally we count only 4 because, as I mentioned, the 4 path individuals, the moments are very short. Okay, so in the sutta, this sutta it will explain by the name of the Sotapanna, like the stream winner, and second one, one's returner. So let's see how the Buddha mentioned. So remember, this achievement the higher and more profound achievement than the concentration level, such as the divine eye or divine ears. So by the divine eye and divine ears, you may think this is very good to enjoy, to see the heavenly sight and heavenly sound, to hear this heavenly sound. This is just enjoyment. And maybe for some instant it will have the meditator to learn about their life cycle, how they rebirth, how they were born. But for many cases, these are not that much beneficial in the Buddhist practice, not emphasize it in the Buddhist practice. So what to emphasize is to attain the path and fruition, mega and phala, in order to liberate from the bondage of suffering, which is called samsara in Pali. Okay, so for the past, the Buddha mentioned that the monks here, monks, whoever, a meditator or practitioner, having abandoned three fetters, become the street winner. So this expression gives the information. In order to become a street winner, or the first stage of enlightened person, enlightened individual, the meditator need to be able to abandon three fetters. The fetters in Pali it is called Sanyojana. So here by the name of Sanyojana it is mentioned. So he needs to abandon. If he could abandon successfully, then he become stream winner. So what are these fetters, Sanyojana? And I explain here in the just Sotapadimagga, remove or completely eradicate three fetters of personality view. So here personality view, Sakaya Deity. So this is a kind of brown view, grasping. So the existence of individual. Actually, according to the ultimate perceptive, there is no existing individual, and the only process of mentalities and materialities just arising according to their cause and condition. But for the individual mind, it wrongly hold the view there is individual. That kind of view is called the Sakaya Ditti. That personality view. Then second one is doubt, Vichikicha. So doubt on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and the cause and effect relationship like this. This kind of doubt is regarded as one of the fetters to be abandoned. Then the third one is adherence to rights and ritual, Silabhata Paramasa. This also refers to a kind of wrong view. So believing these rights and ritual will cause my liberation. So I will attain by this right and ritual. So that kind of adherence by the power of wrong view, also one of the fetters which can bind the individual in the life cycle of suffering. So these are three fetters abandoned by the Sri Vena. So the path, Sotapadimagga, the path of Sri Vena, it completely removes the three fetters. Then after that, he is regarded as the Sri Vena, one of the first stage of enlightened individual. So what happened after this attainment or being in this stage of enlightened person is not liable to states of woe. It means he will not reborn in the woeful state after this attainment. So the enlightened individual, even for the first stage, he will not reborn in the woeful state. This is good benefits. For the ordinary stage, ordinary person, in the life, rebirth is uncertain. Anywhere it can be, because that individual already accumulated the wholesome action, wholesome karma, and unwholesome action, unwholesome karma in the past life cycle, already accumulated both sides. So we cannot say exactly which karma is already mature and it can have the opportunity to give its result to create the rebirth after death. So this is the great benefit for the Sri winner. He will not reborn. He's already get the guarantee not to be reborn in any awful state, hell, or hungry ghosts, or animals, or the demon state of Asura. Then, second benefit, the assurance is he is already firmly or strongly set on the path to enlightenment. So after this attainment of Mega, his mind is already inclined to this stage of enlightenment. He will keep continuing practicing until he attains the arhatship. So these are two benefits here, and normally is mentioned in the sutta teaching. So in this regard, we can understand the attainment of this free winner is need to abandon three fetters, and they have the guarantee for two aspects: escape from the woeful state, woeful rebirth, and incline to the enlightenment. Okay, so after that, the second one, if he continue practicing the insight knowledge, he attained this second stage of enlightenment. That's called one's returner, Sakadagami, one's returner. So for that case, there's no new fetters is abandoned, because this is three and three is the same. Then what the second path knowledge made is reducing the level of greed, hatred, and delusion. The three rooted of unwholesome action are reduced. So for that case, although he is not eradicating any new fetters, and he reduced the grosser form of sensual desire and ill will in the name of the fetters. So sensual desire and ill will, it represents the great hatred and delusion, the same. So delusion, moha, is running behind, and greed is sensual desire, and hatred is evil. But it's just attenuate and reduced. It's still existent, but compared to the stage of Srina, his greed, hatred, and delusion level are low, and very, very low level. That's why he does not have the strong attachment like this free winner. So will not come back several times. Only one time he can come back to human life. Then he will continue practicing, and so here returning to the world once more, and will make an end of suffering. Or he will reborn in other realm of existence higher than the human realm. So these are the two stages of enlightenment. Then for the third one, which is called the non-returner stage. So he needs to abandon the 5 lower fetters. The 5 lower fetters here, the sutta text just mentioned the 5 lower fetters. So we need to understand what are these 5. So sensual desire and evil already reduced by the second stage, but still need to remove completely. That's why the third stage remove completely sensual desire, kamaraga, and evil, vyavara. Then these are the other 3, personality, wrong view, adherence to rights and ritual, and doubt are already abandoned by the first stage of path. So altogether, in this stage, 5 sayojana, or 5 lower fetters, are completely eradicated. So by that case, he will reborn. If he could not continue to the arhatship in this life, he will reborn in the Brahma realm, here the spontaneous rebirth in the highest sphere, Yeah, the spontaneous rebirth, Upapadika, it means the his 5 aggregates in the realm of existence, or yes, in the formless realm, only 4 aggregates arise spontaneously. So it's different from the human rebirth. If the human being take the conception in the mother's womb, it needs a gradual development in the mother's womb. It takes time. But for them, the suffering during the process of rebirth is already escaped. So just a moment. So spontaneous rebirth. He will reborn there as a Brahma after the attainment of non-returner. So he removed the 5 feathers, lower 5 feathers. So here, remember, the Orambagya Sayojana is translated as the 5 lower feathers. So in the enumeration of the Buddhist text, there are 10 feathers, altogether 10 feathers that bind the living beings in the round of rebirth, so that he cannot attain the liberation. So as long as we cannot cut off, or on the other hand, abandon these 10 feathers, Sayojana, we beings are bound in the life cycle and have to reborn again and again, running around the samsara, running around the cycle of rebirth. So now in this sutta explanation, we can understand the achievement of enlightenment can be understood, on the other hand, the cutting of the feathers or the bonds to liberate. So here the 5, like the strings is fine. So already cut off, the five feathers are already cut off. Then here the first feather abandoned, first 3 parts already, called the lower feathers, the personality view. So here, after the attainment, which is called he completely removed the anagami magga by the non-returner, the path of the non-returner. Only 2 feathers, sensual desire, kamaraga, and evil vyavara, because these 3 are already abandoned by the first path of the Sotapaddi Magga. Then here the consciousness, if you are studying Abhidhamma, you will understand. So there's consciousness rooted in hatred. So hatred-rooted consciousness are also cutting off, no more arising. And okay, it doesn't matter if you are not studying Abhidhamma, you don't need to pay attention on this explanation. And just remember, these are 5 lower feathers cut by the past knowledge of non-returner, the third enlightenment, attainment of enlightenment. Then after that, the final stage, the attainment of arhatship. So in order to attain the final stage of enlightenment, arhatship, he needs to abandon, remove all the remaining feathers, or all the remaining defilements. So here, the expression comes through the extinction of the corruption. So this one normally expressed in the Pali is called the asava. So asava kaya. There are several expressions come to express the defilements. mental defilements or mental corruption, which is called, this one is asava, or the mental defilement, kilesa. And just now I mentioned that sanyojana. These all are reference to the unwholesome state or evil state of the mind. So if one can remove these ultimate realities of defilements or corruption, or the same, the mental corruption, mental defilements, or the fedas, he is considered as the enlightened person. So the knowledge, which regards as the enlightenment stages, has the function to take the nirvana as its object, and also cut off either whether it's named in the name of the fedas or defilements or corruption. These unwholesome fedas are eradicated by the path knowledge. So after the attainment of final enlightenment stage, he already deliverance from, his mind is already deliverance from the corruption. So when he live with the deliverance mind and deliverance wisdom in this very life, but after this life, he will not be reborn anywhere. So at the end of this life, is considered as the final pranirvana. So this is the final stage of enlightenment. Then, in order to attain the final stage, to match with the former statement that mentioned about the 5 lower fedas, the remaining fedas we should know. These are the information about the 5. We can see the higher feda. So higher feda, the desire for 5 material existence and desire for immaterial existence. So here, desires are classified into 3 types. 3 types. The first type is sensual desire. So sensual desire is abandoned by the 3rd stage. The 2nd stage just low down the level of the sensual desire in the form of greed. It is mentioned that greed. So the 3rd stage already remove the desire for the sensual existence or the life in the sensual plane of existence. And the remaining two form of desire to the 5 material existence and immaterial existence are removed by the knowledge of arhatship. So attainment of arhatship. Then the 3rd one is conceit, mana. So this is also one of the unwholesome fetter. Then the 4th is restlessness, which is called uddhacca in Pali. So restlessness, the opposite of the concentrated mind. Then the last one, ignorance. The last one, ignorance, avijja. On the other hand, it is said the moha, delusion. So avijja refers to the ultimate realities of mental fetters or delusion, moha. Okay, so with the attainment of arhata knowledge, the path knowledge of arhata magga, the individual, the person abandon all remaining fetters or higher fetters, which is called uddhambhagiya sanyojana. So this regards as the fetters because as long as they are not removed, they can bind the beings in the Brahma realms or of Brahma realms or 5 material sphere or immaterial sphere. Up to that, he cannot attain the liberation, complete liberation. Although he will not be reborn in the sensual realms, and he can reborn in the Brahma realm. So after cutting off these Sanyojana, the fetters, he is fully liberated individual, and thus so is regarded as the highest one, the perfect achievement in the practice of holy life under the Buddha. So the Buddha mentioned, 4 stages of enlightenment as the main purpose of practicing in the Buddhism as a monk. So after listening, these 4 achievements, 4 stages of enlightenment as the purpose of practicing monk's life, the Prince Mahali or Tada, he asked the question whether there is a path or the method to practice to attain the stages of enlightenment. So he asked the practice, he asked the method, a path to attain these supramundane level of achievement. On the other hand, it's called the Mega and Pala. It's very, very famous. And supramundane level, or to become a noble person. Then the Buddha mentioned, yeah, of course, there's a path and a method to practice. So Buddha here just mentioned in brief way. It does not extend a lot. It just mentioned the Noble Eightfold Path. So from the beginning of the first Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Buddha mentioned this Noble Eightfold Path to attain the enlightenment or to attain the liberation. So these are the Noble Eightfold Path. It constituents of Noble Eightfold Path 8 fetters, the first one, and second one, right view and right thought, considered as the wisdom training or training of wisdom aspect. And then 3 to 5, right speech, right action, right livelihood, considered as the training of morality. So wisdom aspect, morality aspect, after the concentration aspect. So right thought, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These are Noble Eightfold Paths. Or on the other hand, we can express the threefold training. So here in the middle, the moralities, concentration, and wisdom. But these, when they come to maturity, so come to mature enough, and the person attain the enlightenment. So these 8 qualities are considered as the path to attain the supreme path and knowledge, or supramundane path and knowledge. So the Buddha mentioned, but this is the path. If you practice to develop these 8 fetters or Noble Eightfold Path, you will attain these stages of enlightenment. So then Buddha further mentioned about the story when he was asked the philosophical question by two wanderers of the Mandisa and Jaliya. These are 2 names of the disciple of the wooden bull ascetic. This is the famous one during that time. So these 2 wanderers came to the Buddha and they asked the philosophical question about that, whether the soul and body. So because in that time, in their view, there's existing soul and body. So they have the question, and also at that time, widely discussed about this, whether the soul and body are the same or different fetters. They came to the Buddha and asked, the Buddha sharing this story to the Mahali. Then also the Buddha, just want to share about his response, his answer about them. Actually, not really giving an answer, how he responds to this kind of philosophical question. So sometimes it is hard to discuss if something is not in our range. That's why we should know in discussion what is the relevant context of our discussion. Here, when they brought two wanderers brought this kind of philosophical question to the Buddha and how the Buddha respond. Let's see it. Then the Buddha remind them to pay attention properly. And here, starting from the appearance of the Buddha in the wall, after the fully enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, we can see that is the Buddha appear in the wall. And such kind of Buddha, such kind of great teacher coming to appear in this wall. And what he did is, as mentioned in the previous sutta, so here he preached the Dhamma. Such kind of Dhamma, the lovely in the beginning, middle, and end, and which can display the fully perfect holy life and fully practice, fully purified holy life. Then after hearing this kind of Dhamma, and he has a saddha, he has a faith on the Buddha and Dhamma, and he joined in the Sangha order and ordained. Or this just mentioned of the process is not necessary to ordain. Also, the lay people also can practice. So what he did is the morality practice. So as mentioned in the former sutta, is continue the morality practice after that, and also to the absence of the mental hindrances. So deliverance from the mental hindrances through the practice of the concentration, and finally attain the jhana. So first jhana, second jhana, etc. So this already mentioned in the second sutta or Digha Nikaya, the Samanyaphala Sutta, the gradual practice. So if that person following the Buddha's guidance and the teaching of the Buddha, and he attained the certain level of concentration, which is called first jhana. So in relation to this attainment of first jhana, and the Buddha said, so is there anything to talk about that philosophical question you ask, whether the soul and body are the same or different? So Buddha asked them. So one person, by following the Buddha's teaching and attain the jhana, in this case, is there any connection with your question, your philosophical question? The same or the different doesn't matter. He practiced and he attained the certain level of concentration, the jhana, first jhana. In this case, they replied, there's nothing to say about this philosophical question in the attainment of jhana. So that's the reason the Buddha say, I know and see about this. There's no connection about this kind of question and this kind of practice and achievement. So the Buddha, the purpose to appear in this world is to teach the living beings for the spiritual practice, for the attainment of enlightenment, especially refers to the enlightenment, so that the beings can liberate from this bondage of samsara. So here, even to the first jhana or second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana attainment, there's no relationship with this kind of question, this kind of discussion or development of this kind of idea, whether the soul and body same or different. So no relationship. That's why the Buddha say, by knowing that, by seeing that, there's no relation about that. There's no point to talk about whether the same or different in the practice of concentration practice. For the achievement of concentration practice, and I don't see anything. I don't see, any discussion or any answer about the soul and body are the same or different. Then Buddha keep continuing, as mentioned in the second sutta. So after that, the practice continued to the knowledge and vision, the attainment of knowledge and vision. So it reached to the final attainment. The final attainment, one achieved the final liberation. So for the arhatship as well, is there any connection? The Buddha asked. The Buddha mentioned that he practiced vipassana and he attained the stages of enlightenment and finally reached to the highest achievement of arhatship. So for this case also, is there any connection? The Buddha asked. And yeah, they say there's no connection. There's nothing to say. Then the Buddha conclude, yeah, this is the reason. I'm not talking about the the development of this kind of discussion on the philosophical question. So many wanderers are doing this, but different from this wanderer, what the Buddha made is teaching for this spiritual development. And the purpose is to attain the enlightenment and finally liberate from samsara and attain the nibbana. So in this case, that's why I don't say the answer. I just say the response to the philosophical question. So how the Buddha react or respond to this kind of question when he has asked, is the Buddha just mentioned the practice and achievement, the connection, and the Buddha disclosed them, let them know there's no connection about it. So there's no reason to talk about this kind of philosophical question. Then finally, the Ottada, or on the other name is Mahali literally, he rejoices the Buddha as well. And this is the end. So two parts, the past part talking about the heavenly sight and sound in relation to the story of Sunakata. Based on that story, the question comes, the concentration achievement is the reason to practice under the Buddha in holy life. Then the Buddha answered, no, this is not the reason. The higher reason is achievement of the path and fruition or supramundane achievement or enlightenment. Then, and regarding that, the Mahali continued the path, and the Buddha just mentioned the Noble Eightfold Path. So if you practice Noble Eightfold Path, you will attain this enlightenment step by step. Finally, you liberate from this suffering. Then Buddha mentioned sometimes people are confusing that, or if we just practice this and not knowing the other aspects, there are many things to learn in this world. So is it possible? We should try to learn others to complete our knowledge like this. So yeah, in this age, even to use the mobile phone or computer, sometimes we cannot learn many things because the technology is developing in every day. So it is hard to say I have that complete knowledge in relation to the ordinary things. So we need to emphasize. So the Buddha also mentioned, this is the practice and achievement. It's complete, a complete set is already mentioned systematically. So for such kind of philosophical context, no reason to involve. So in this sutta, we learn this kind of teaching, and we should practice this understanding or taking the Buddha as example, how he responds to such kind of question, such kind of discussion. And sometimes we should avoid such some kind of some of the discussion in daily life. Okay, thank you very much for your attention and participation. And let me stop here my explanation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sayadaw, for today's teaching. We have about 37 minutes left for the Q&A questions. But first, we have a few announcements to make. You may also submit your questions now. Next week, Sayadaw Ukumara Biwanta is on a Dhamma trip, and we will have no Dhamma Zoom teachings. In about 3 weeks' time, Sayadaw Kumara Biwanta will continue the Dhamma Zoom teachings of the Buddha and his great disciples, part 4, which will be on about Bodhisattva Buddha to be, and we will be announcing it. In 2 weeks' time, we will have Sayadaw U Pinajika Lingara continue this Nika study series, part 15. During each session, Sayadaw will explain the outline of every sutta. There is homework assignment for this Nikaya study series. For our next homework assignment, Sayadaw would like us to continue reading the translated 6th sutta of Digha Nikaya in your preferred language to prepare ourselves before the next study session in 3 weeks. Please take notes during your readings, and if any questions arise, you may submit it to our email address before the next lesson at americandhammasociety@gmail.com, and we will answer accordingly. Here is a Google Drive link to Pali, English, Chinese, Burmese, Indonesian, and Vietnamese of the Digha Nikaya. On this link, you can also access the lecture notes of the teaching series. Lecture notes are also translated to Chinese, Indonesian, and Vietnamese. Please don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. We have YouTube playlists for Nikaya study teachings and the question and answer. Any further suggestion or inquiries, please contact us. Our sincere thanks to our co-hosts, University of the West Religious Studies, Department of California, United States, and Pa'al Sudarnabhumi, Indonesia. At this time, please go ahead to stop the live streaming now, and we shall proceed to the question and answer portion on the Zoom. A few quick reminders regarding the Q&A. Please submit your questions on Zoom's Q&A. Please keep your questions